Started. Welcome back to the day 3 of the International Workshop on Embodied Intelligence. So we have a very productive last 2 days, and it's very difficult to actually digest a lot of things, but hopefully you're enjoying it and you can enjoy the last day. So hope you can see the screen now. So just to do a bit of housekeeping, that we are recording the lectures and we're going to share the videos for those permitted. So please don't record on your end. We will send you more information shortly. And we also have a background discussion in Discord. This seems to be working really fine. So please do join the Discord's social interaction interface so that you can actually join the discussions and post the questions and so on. And if you have any questions, problems, concerns, please don't hesitate sending us email, help@iweiworkshop.org. And day 1 and day 2 videos are already there, I think mostly. We still have a couple of technical problems to resolve, but you can find the link in the iweiworkshop.org, and the videos ready for sharing is already there. So please click here, and then you should be able to find the videos recorded. Okay, then the workshop so far, we had 2 long days in last 2 days, and we have very productive discussions, and it's very difficult to actually summarize what we discussed, but I just try to do best explaining what had happened for those who are not here, but also for the sake of finding some common ground of discussions for today's session. And today we have a half-day session with open discussion afterwards. So that's the idea for today's program. Okay, so let me try briefly summarize what happened in the last 2 days. So embodied intelligence is the place or discipline where we can have a very highly interdisciplinary discussions, including robotics, biology, computer science, material science, chemistry, philosophy, and the neuroscience. And we are discussing both aspects of how we can understand biological systems or how we can imitate biological systems. But at the same time, we want to somehow apply our knowledge to the useful applications or some demonstrations in engineering means. So this this framework turns out to be very fruitful for discussions, and we can actually go really deep in discussions in both philosophical and the technical terms. So I hope you enjoyed this framework, and we want to discuss later how this kind of discussions could lead to in the short-term, long-term future as a next step. So my list of discussions or summary is getting longer and longer every day, but these are some of the points I just want to share with you about what I think we learned from this this workshop in the last 2 days. So the first question, what is the embodied intelligence? There's lots of different views on embodied intelligence. This is great, and I just wanted to, I really enjoyed listening to different views of what the embodied intelligence could be. And so the common consensus seems to be we all agreed on the body shapes the brain metaphor in addition to brain controlling body metaphor, right? So this is a kind of interesting field of discussions and the views on how we can understand embodied intelligence from this point of view. And this area of discussion is leading to our understanding on consciousness, self-awareness, prediction, adaptation, optimization, and so on. So these are topics that we discussed in the last couple of days. And study of complex physical body is the common theme for many of us in the field. But the complexity is not only a thing. We also want to understand how simple control mechanism can emerge from all this complex body interacting with a complex environment. And a contribution of embodied intelligence to the current challenges in AI is a really probably direct benefit of direct impact we can make in this community. So yeah, one of the statements I learned from Daniel Russ is quite interesting that deep learning is too narrow, right? Maybe it's deep enough, but it's not wide enough. So I think embodied intelligence can probably give a contribution to widen the framework of a deep learning. And the source of, so embodied intelligence as a source of generating unlimited variety of patterns, intrinsic motivation, self-evidencing, active inferencing, and providing a sentience is one of the topics we discussed in the first day. And then there are quite some roboticists looking at embodied intelligence as a bridge between deterministic and probabilistic modeling, or a bridge between computational and the physical intelligence. So, and then yesterday we have quite some discussion about social interaction, imitation, anthropomorphism of intelligence is a kind of another aspect of it. We also identify a number of challenges. Theories of embodied intelligence. So we talk about the free energy principle and predictive coding quite intensively in the last 2 days. We are still not certain about what other theoretical framework or tools are available for embodied intelligence. So that's another topic we should discuss. Mental simulation, simulation reality gap, all these things are kind of a big question, how to design it and how mental simulation can emerge from the embodied interactions. We had a very interesting discussion about Brooks' juice, like how we can make our machines more living, more lifelike. Is quite still a question, like what is it, whether it exists, or what kinds of Brooks juice are there. And also the from local sensing actuation to global physics and global functions, another challenge. From brain science point of view, I think there's an interesting discussion about the understanding of rest stage, body dynamic, brain dynamics, and whether there's any roles of daydreamings and so on. And then there's another discussion yesterday, embodied intelligence, anything different from morphological computation? Are they the same thing or is it different things? I think this is also an open question. And there's also quite a big discussion, how do we define embodied intelligence? Should we define it? Or should we just keep it open and rather talk about the methodologies of embodied intelligence? I think that's open questions for many of us. Yeah, also quite some part of this community is roboticists, and especially soft roboticists. There are a number of questions along this line. I'm not going to go too much into details, but I think the growing, developing, evolving morphology is a kind of new contribution of soft robotics to the embodied intelligence community. And the metaphor of embodied memory or embodied interactions are kind of interesting discussions we have yesterday. Okay, so these are the just some summary, very brief summary of 2 days, very dense 2 days, and hopefully this is kind of helpful to motivate everyone to have a discussion for the day 3. So we have only half day today that we have one panel discussion and one plenary talk. Then I would like to conclude the whole workshop with the open discussions and the breakout sessions. We would like to have a more open and wide discussions at the end. So we would like all the panelists and the plenary speakers joining this workshop. And if anyone else in the audience want to join this final discussion, please let us know, and then we can put you in the panelist. For the last breakout sessions, I just want to have a bit more open discussion because many people want to have a close discussion and or smaller discussion in the end. So we are planning to create 2 rooms, breakout sessions discussing coordination and collaboration. And also the open research discussion. So these rooms are not going to be recorded, and we can have probably better discussions in this format. Okay, so then I think I'm going to stop my summary part of this session, and I'd like to move to short talks and panel discussion sessions. So I'd like all the panelists here to join this session. So we would like to ask every panelist to give 10 minutes introduction of your views on embodied intelligence and your research project. And then we will have an open discussion afterwards.